The Sony A6000 is still one of the most popular used cameras you can buy today. But in 2026, is it actually still worth buying, or has it finally become too old to recommend? Before we talk about image quality or features, let's be clear about who the Sony A6000 actually makes sense for in 2026. This camera is best for beginners buying their first camera, people shopping on the used market, and anyone who mainly cares about photography. It's also a solid option for travel and street photography, thanks to its small size and lightweight design. But just because it's popular doesn't mean it's still the right choice. And that's what really matters. The Sony A6000 still does a lot of things right in 2026, especially when it comes to photography. It uses a 24-megapixel APS-C sensor that can still produce sharp, detailed images with good colors. For photos, the image quality easily holds up today and still looks much better than most smartphones. Autofocus is another strong point for its age. For still photography, it's fast, reliable, and works well for everyday shooting. This makes it a great option for street photography, travel, and casual portraits. The camera is also very compact and lightweight, which makes it easy to carry all day. If you want a camera you can take anywhere without feeling bulky, the Sony A6000 still delivers. Another big advantage is the Sony E-mount lens system. There are many lenses available both from Sony and third-party brands at different price points. This gives you plenty of room to grow without needing to change systems. For photography-focused users, these strengths are the main reason why the Sony A6000 is still relevant in 2026. Where the Sony A6000 really starts to show its age in 2026 is video. There is no 4K video at all, which is a big limitation by today's standards. The video autofocus also feels outdated compared to modern mirrorless cameras. It works, but it's not reliable enough for fast movement or vlogging. The camera has no flip screen and no touchscreen, which makes framing and menu navigation less convenient. Battery life is another weak point, especially if you shoot for long periods. Low-light video performance is also not great, and there's no in-body image stabilization to help smooth out handheld footage. These things don't make the Sony A6000 a bad camera, but they do matter in 2026. In 2026, the Sony A6000 is mainly attractive because of its price. On the used market, it usually sells for around $350 to $450, depending on the condition and shutter count. At this price, it can feel like a great deal, especially for beginners or photography-focused users. You're getting solid image quality, a compact body, and access to a wide lens ecosystem. But this is also the point where the real question comes in. At this price, does the Sony A6000 still make sense compared to newer options you could buy instead? When you compare the Sony A6000 to similar cameras, the differences become clearer. Against the Canon M50, the A6000 is still strong for photography, but the M50 is the better choice for video and modern features. Compared to the Sony A6100, the A6000 feels much older. If your budget allows, the A6100 is a big upgrade with better autofocus and video performance. And when you compare it to entry-level DSLRs, the Sony A6000 still has the mirrorless advantage. It's smaller, lighter, and easier to carry, especially for travel and everyday use. I've also covered the best cameras under $500 and under $1,000 in 2026, and you'll find links to those videos below. So here's the final verdict on the Sony A6000 in 2026. You should buy it if photography is your main priority, you're on a tight budget, and you want a compact camera you can carry every day. It still delivers strong photo quality and remains a solid choice for beginners and casual photographers. But you should avoid it if you care mainly about video or vlogging, or if you want modern features and convenience. The Sony A6000 is still good in 2026, but only for the right person.